Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're talking about Ecosystem, and this is published by Genius Games and designed by Matt Simpson.
All right, like all Genius games, this is a game, but more than that. Okay.
You guys, like all blank games, this is a game.
You know what I mean. This is a hobby game featuring mechanisms that we like and are familiar with and are fun. But
a game.
But it's a game. But it's a game that also either teaches or reinforces a kind of scientific concept. In this case, we're talking about diverse, thriving ecosystems. All right, this is a drafting game. You know, we're going to have a hand of cards, take one of them, pass the rest. Have a hand of cards, take one, pass the rest. And then what you're going to do once you get that card, though, is you're going to lay it onto a tableau, and you're actually going to kind of build that ecosystem. All right, so let me show you how it plays. All right, in Ecosystem, we have a whole bunch of cards here. And then also every player is going to get this player aid, which talks about all the different cards in the game and how they score differently from one another. All right, so we're all going to get a 10-card hand dealt to us at the beginning of the game. We get to look at it, and we are going to pick one of them and place them in our tableau. So let's just start off with a creek or a stream. Then we're going to take all the cards that are left. We're going to pass them to the left. And from the players on our right, we're going to get a hand of cards from them. And then we're going to take a card from that. This card needs to go adjacent to it in some way. So we're drafting these cards one at a time, being passed them, and then we're going to place them down in our tableau. Every card has to be touching the initial card here. So, you know, from here on out, every card we place has to be somehow touching these. You couldn't have a gap, like you couldn't have a card all the way over here, or something like that, or you can't place diagonally either. It has to be adjacent to one of your existing cards, either by top, bottom, left, or right. You're going to keep on passing cards, taking one, passing cards, taking one, and playing them out there until you've played 10 cards. And then at that point, everyone's going to get a new hand of 10 cards, and the same thing's going to happen, only this time we're going to pass to the right. So we'll take a card, put it out there, let's make our stream a little bit longer, pass the rest to the right, until once again we've played 10 more cards. So at the end of the game, we will have played a total of 20 cards, and we're going to make a 4 tall by 5 across grid, 20 cards out there. Once the game is done, then we're going to go back to our scoring aid, and we're going to see how many points we have. All right, so the bear says it's worth 2 points for each adjacent bee or trout, because, bears like honey, and they like fish. All right, so, and then the trout says it gets 2 points for each adjacent dragonfly or stream. Then you also have things like the stream itself, where it says the longest stream is going to score 8 points. The second longest is going to get 5 points. So each one of these cards has its own different scoring parameters. But then at the end of it all, we're going to put each one on our score pad. So we're going to put all the bees, bears, meadows, everything that we've scored on this. Then we're going to go through and count all the zeros that we have. Like maybe, for instance, we didn't get any of the meadows. And we had one stream out there, but it wasn't enough to score any points because we didn't have the longest or second longest. So then at that point, what's going to happen is we're going to go down to our diversity scoring. The more zeros we have, the more the diversity gaps they're called, the worse we're going to be. So if we had 6 or more of those gaps, we're actually going to lose negative 5 points. But let's say we only had 3 zeros, we're actually going to get a bonus of 7 points. So you're going to add up all your points and put them all together. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins.
So this might be more of me of a gamer than this of a game, but this has never happened to me, so I just wanted to talk about it, that, I opened up this game and I knew how to play. I looked at the rulebook and I didn't read it yet, and I looked at the cards and I was like, I know how to play this game. I just knew. I know I had not played it before and remembered it. This was literally fresh. And it could be that we just came off of playing, an absolutely horrendous game.
The worst.
And so it just, was so refreshing to hold this in my hand. But it was exciting for me because I had never, it just made sense. It just, I understood how to play this game, and then, of course, we read the rules. I actually read the rules this time to make sure that I was right, but that was, a really fun experience for me as a gamer.
Yeah, it's super intuitive. I think the simplicity of this game is really what draws it in. I mean, it just introduces those two things of the drafting and then placing it down. The scoring can get a little more complicated at the end, but you kind of work that out at the end of the game. And when the game's happening, you're just trying to maximize the amount of points you're getting. But it's just as simple as taking a card and passing the rest, laying it down. It's just so simple that it just makes sense, and the theme kind of helps draw that into.
This is as if like Seven Wonders and King Domino came together and had a baby. Not thematically, of course, just in gameplay.
And both of those babies were really good at science.
Yeah, the babies were good.
The parents were really good at science.
Yes. So I just like the gameplay of the card drafting, but also with the tableau building, and it was really like it was a perfect blend of those, and I really like both of those games like a lot. So of course it was easy for me to get this with systems I already understood.
The card interactions made a lot of sense to me. For instance, like the bears, they scored points if they were next to bees because they like honey, and trout because they like fish. And then the trout scored points based off of being near the stream or the creek. And then there was, the wolves. The bigger the wolf pack, the more points you got.
And the eagle, you could score like 2 away
because they could fly. So everything just really made sense, which really helps with teaching as well because it just kind of just is. Not that the teaching was hard by any means, but it just every character, every animal just kind of it made sense of why they scored the way they scored.
And the game really wants you to explore that too. They want you to try and get as many of these different animals that you can get because of the diversity bonus at the end. You usually get punished if you don't utilize at least half of them.
Something like that, yeah.
Like you lose points if you don't utilize at least half of these different animals, or I guess the meadow and streams aren't animals, but yeah, if you don't utilize that. And in fact, if you're able to utilize all -2 or less, so all one or two, you get like this huge 12-point bonus, which is huge.
Right.
And so the game really encourages you to try and diversify, to have a healthy diversity.
You guys, I see us playing this a lot. This is one that's staying in our collection. It's going to be one that's super fast gameplay. Yeah. It doesn't overstay its welcome. At the same time, it fits on the shelf perfectly. It's completely what's the word I want to use? Intuitive. It's engaging all the way through because you're never any downtime. Mm-hmm. What a great game! We really like ecosystems.
Yeah, and this game benefits from what most card drafting benefits from is the
Simultaneous
play. Yeah, simultaneous play. So regardless of how many people you have playing this game, the gameplay should be about the same amount of time. And so I think that is really cool. Also, one of the reasons why I really love this game is because the majority of all the games I play are 2-player with this guy right here. And this game has a really fun 2-player system. So you have that dummy player, which a lot of these games do, like in Seven Wonders, and it's stupid and nobody likes it. And
I don't hate it as much as everybody else.
Yeah, well, you're wrong. Anyway, I still like you, though.
Thanks.
But anyway, so you're doing the same thing. You're taking the card, you minus a card, basically, and then you go through the hand and you pass it. So all the cards that you took out and the dummy player played, those count.
You don't actually lay them out in a tableau or anything like that.
Correct.
They just kind of like discard them face down.
Yeah. So those count towards the stream bonus and the wolf pack bonus. So you could like lose points based on this random card that was rejected. And I just loved that little extra. It was such a tiny little extra thing to do to make the 2-player version of it just more exciting. It was fun to begin with, but just to have that little like, I don't know what's going to happen. Great. I loved it.
Yeah, Sorcerer City, the same thing with adding like a 3rd-player card for the initiative bonus.
Yeah.
And it just made it so simple, so perfect.
Yeah, it was really great. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to us so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us on Facebook, we're Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. On Twitter, we're Ryan and Bethany 1. And on Instagram, we are Ryan and Bethany.
All right, you guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.